I'm Darcie Crowe, Senior Wealth Advisor and Senior Portfolio Manager. Today we're going to be addressing a question we get a lot from clients. How much do I need to retire? So planning for retirement can be a stressful process. You're moving away from a steady inflow of income to living off an accumulated asset base. However, planning for the future can eliminate that stress. So there's 3 popular rules of thumb that you can follow to give you a very high-level sense of how much you may need to retire. So rule number 1 is the 4% withdrawal rate. So this rule of thumb infers that you build up a retirement portfolio that provides a certain amount of income to you each year that represents 4% of your portfolio. And this is considered a safe withdrawal rate. So for example, if you need $40,000 per year in income each year in retirement, you would require $1 million in retirement savings. So 4% of $1 million is $40,000 you could withdraw from your portfolio. For $80,000 in income per year to support retirement, you would need $2 million in investment savings. So rule number 2 is your desired annual income times 25. So this is really just another way of stating the 4% rule. You want to have 25 times your desired annual retirement salary in savings. Again, as an example, if you need $40,000 in income in retirement, multiplied by 25 is $1 million. If you need $80,000 in income in retirement, but multiplied by 25 is $2 million in savings. So rule number 3 is 70% of working income rule. So this estimates that you need approximately 70% of pre-retirement income in your retirement years. The rule assumes expenses are generally lower in retirement. You likely don't have a mortgage payment any longer. You're not allocating funds to save for retirement. Perhaps your children are now independent. So overall, the assumption is your expenses will be about 30% lower than pre-retirement years. So an example, if you are earning $100,000 pre-retirement per year, and this comfortably is meeting your spending requirements, you'll need about $70,000 in annual income to spend in retirement. You then use the 4% rule, and this would imply that you need $1.75 million in savings to support your retirement spending. As these rules of thumb highlight, there's really 2 primary factors that are critical in mapping out your retirement years. Number 1, what will be your expenses in retirement? How much are you spending each year? So you can use that 70% rule as a rough estimate, or if you want to have a more precise estimate, you'll want to review your current monthly expenses and make any adjustments that you see fit. Reduce commuting expenses, kids' expenses, perhaps retirement savings, and then you want to add in any expected increases to travel or healthcare costs, or perhaps retirement housing in later years. Generally, we see 3 stages in retirement years. Stage 1 is active, you're spending more, you're traveling, and you're in good health. Stage 2 is often a little quieter, you're more comfortable at a slower pace and staying home. And stage 3, we often see costs increase again with potential healthcare issues or long-term care spending. And then secondly, what will your income be in retirement? What sources do you have to draw on in retirement years? Do you expect to receive CPP and OAS? These amounts are generally going to depend on how long you lived in Canada for OAS and how much you've contributed to CPP and for how long. And note that OAS can be clawed back under certain circumstances. Do you have a workplace pension to rely on? So the more income that you have coming from these plans, the less amount you're going to require to draw from your investment portfolio. So when calculating amounts required to save up for retirement, note the pension income available to you will offset some of the savings required. So other factors you're going to want to consider: at what age are you retiring? Longevity plays a critical role in solving for the size of the nest egg we require. The later in life you retire, not only is the longer you have to accumulate assets, but also the fewer years you're depleting assets. So assets were required to retire at 55 may look very different than if you retire at 65 or 70. Where are you going to live in retirement? So where you plan to stay, whether it's downsizing your home, staying in your family home, or perhaps even purchasing a recreational property, are all factors that need to be considered to understand the access to capital and funds that are going to be able to generate an income for you in retirement. And lastly, there's many life changes that can affect our retirement outlook. Life is unpredictable and reality may look very different than what you've planned. So some of the more significant changes we see that have meaningful impact on retirement might include healthcare issues, kids potentially being financially dependent longer than expected, divorce where assets are then distributed between spouses, or inflation being materially higher than anticipated through retirement years. In closing, while there are rules of thumb to make estimates, we highly recommend as you approach retirement years, or even if you are in retirement now, to undergo a full financial plan to ensure you are prepared and on track to meet your retirement goals. This is something we do with all of our clients, and we would be pleased to set up a consultation with you to review. If there are any changes that need to be made, the earlier you uncover this, the better off you will be financially. So we highly recommend not delaying and getting a plan in place for you and your family. Thank you for joining us. If you found this content useful, please remember to like and subscribe below, as it helps us to get this content out to others that may find it useful. Thank you.